Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video, sponsored by the makers of Call of Dragons, we're checking out the latest update note, which includes a rework of the VIP system, a new season, and I mean, well, let's just dive into the new season stuff. Season of Strife 5, War of the Last Snows is coming. War of the Last Snows features classes, Druid, Engineer, Herbalist, or Warlord, learning proficiencies from their class mentor to bring unique advantages. You know what's really funny? I remember seeing a skit recently where they were sort of making fun of the idea of like an herbalist and a rogue. And, the rogue is like, oh, yeah, I got this really cool armor, blah, blah, blah. Are you sure you're going to be like an herbalist? And the guy's like, yeah, I really want to be an herbalist. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to be a rogue because rogues are badass. See you later. And then, they come back 100 levels later or whatever. And the herbalist is like completely, just absolutely covered in badass armor, magic. They got all these cool abilities. And the rogue is like, oh yeah, like check it out. I can crouch and go to stealth. Anyways, herbalist. They could make that cool. I'm just saying they could make that cool. Camp versus camp and team up dynamics, or rather mechanics. So they've got groupings of A, B, C, and D class realms. I love this. Look, people try to take easy seasons. If the matchmaking is good here, it's better than easy season madness. So I love this. There's going to be 2 camps, the Holy Hammer and the Sworn Shield. Great. New map. Frost Dragon Zeneros has murdered High King Breneg or Berneg. I don't know who that is. And occupied the mines of Callan. Is that the Dwarf King? Who was this? Dude, that's crazy. New Behemoth? I don't know how to pronounce this. Charbides? Chardus? New Behemoth. Excited to see new Behemoths. Behemoth affixes, special Behemoth buffs, and new season policies. Okay, cool. All in all, just like very hyped for a new season. Eager to see it. Karada's Challenge event is now available. During the early stages of Seasons 1, 2, and 3, Karada and his vassals will appear in the center of the map awaiting challengers. Deal as much damage as possible to receive rank rewards and achievement rewards. Okay, I mean, I'm not in love with like mindless DPS checks, so let's see how this works out, right? Let's see how it looks. Holiday event, Summer Sunshine. So there's a holiday event series coming up. Typically, this means we get some ways to unlock some pet fruit. Certainly looking forward to that. Oh, new epic hero. Okay, epic. I mean, the dude is cavalry PvP mobility. Okay. I'd be very interested for what his kit does. I can't imagine myself using an epic cavalry hero, but for the early game, could be cool. We're getting new exemplars, though. I knew they would do this. I mean, they had to, right? Like, they had to add more exemplars. So I'm like a little bit torn, and I have been torn about draining every single relevant thing I have to like pull for the things I need currently. Cause like now this shows up, right? And I am unsurprised. So I feel like I did like actually shred a meaningful amount of what I had, but kept enough that I feel pretty good about it. Anyways, here's what's going to be a new exemplar. Springs of Silence, Heart of Kamasi. Heart of Kamasi is a very powerful one. Breath of Gigantus, obviously powerful. Dragon Scale Armor, I actually do not use it all anymore for the most part. I mean, I guess I did use it in the Tournament of Champions in the Paramount Championship. We'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. Infernal Flame, Rattlespear, Springblade, Storm Arrows, Mana Stone Hunter, Springbird Feather. I mean, wow, that is a lot, and there are some very powerful artifacts in here. I think the thing that I'm most interested in seeing them do with these exemplars is to take an artifact like the Springs of Silence, like, I don't know, Storm Arrows is actually very good, but like, maybe we'd include Springbird Feather in this category, although it does actually see use. But to take these artifacts that see very, very minimal use and make them relevant in a way with a really cool effect, I think it's unlikely Springs of Silence rather will elevate to that level. But That is the kind of thing I would love to see. All right, now combat system improvements, new holistic skills. So they mentioned holistic skills in a prior message, so we don't need to go in depth on this. But basically, gathering skills, engineering skills, maybe one or two other things becomes universally applicable to you wherever you are, whenever you are, on whichever heroes you're using. Oh, it's also peacekeeping. So the power of this is that you, when you bring an army out, get the benefit of your collection rather than just the heroes you've brought out. I love that. I genuinely love that. I think it's amazing. Hero skill improvements. This is really hype. Okay, what are they doing here? Garwood's hero skill Tempered Bark has been changed. Previously increases HP of all garrisoned armies by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 when in a city or stronghold. Now, the Legion just gains HP. That is a huge open field buff. I mean, it's 10% of buff, but okay. Wow. Garwood is just... he loses his garrison skill, right? Like, it's no longer garrison specific. It's just goodness all the way around. In fact, like, the funny thing is that I generally wouldn't use Garwood in a garrison. I know I've mentioned this a million times, but people don't really understand how healing works. But healing is mid in many situations, or even very bad in a rally garrison context, because healing is the restoration of troops. The equivalent of restoration of troops is just putting more troops in as a reinforcement. Now, in situations where you cannot reinforce, healing is very good. In situations where you can reinforce, healing is very bad because you could have had an active skill that did damage instead of something that could have been replicated by simply reinforcing again. See what I mean? So, anyways, very interesting change. Actually think that's very cool. Very, very cool. Very cool change. Madeline's infantry tag has been changed to overall. No way. Oh my god. And her hero's skill, Steel Sentinel, has been changed. Previously, the Legion deals 5, 7, 9, 12, 15 more counterattack, and infantry gain 5, 7, 9, 12, 15 hit points. Now, it's just Legion deals 5, 7, 9, 12, 15 more counter. Wow. They make Madeline universal. So that means Madeline could be used with calves? Does Madeline does like AoE damage on one of her skills? How does that work out? How's that going to work out? The fourth skill, right? When your shield expires. This is very, 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 very interesting. I don't know how viable Madeline would be with like marksmen, or could you use Madeline with mages? I don't know, but it's very interesting. Nico's engineering tag has been changed to PvP. That makes him much more compelling as a primary. You got some more talent options. His hero skill Expert Mechanic has been changed. Previously, you got Legion Engineering. Now, when entering the battlefield, the Legion gains Vigor up to 10% and Haste, which is March Speed, 15% for 10 seconds. This effect can trigger once every 30. I mean, it's definitely a combat buff. There's no way around it, but this is only a very minimal buff, I would say. Very minimal. Freygar's hero skill Falconeer Charge has been changed. Previously, when you launch normal attack, they have a 20% chance to gain haste, increasing march speed by 30%, reduce the target's rage accumulation speed by 20%. Very powerful debuff. Now, when launching a normal attack, the Legion has a 20% chance to launch an extra normal attack at the enemy other than the target? Oh my god. Freygar is turning into technically AoE damage? And for the next 5 seconds. Wait, and for the next 5 seconds, the Legion is gaining 30% march speed. And the target loses 20% rage accumulation. Wow. Now that right there feels like a pretty big buff to me, to Freygar. No? Don't you think? Love to see it. That's crazy. Extra normal attacks is obviously like the jam for Sinfrey. This is it's not a jaw-dropping buff, but like, okay, let's talk about this for a second. So if you pair with Sindrian and you're doing 2 normal attacks per turn, okay, and then you get a 20% chance to launch an extra normal, and if this could trigger from the pet skill Chain Strike as well, I don't know if it can. Like, we are popping off. Yo, we are so back with marksman right now. This is insane. and we never left. Artifact skill improvements. Mana Stone Hunter skill is changing. Okay. I mean, now it can be gathered by the legion that created it or other friendly legions, but it can only be gathered 5 times. Very cool. Very cool. Increase the number of merits gained by players who defeat level 4 units during Season of Strife. Interesting. Improved risk warnings. Okay, risk warnings for behemoth trials. Sure. I mean, you can see my level of interest in that particular piece of news is kind of low. Improved legion attack target selection. Improved legion attack target selection settings. The settings will no longer be reset on exiting the game. Nice. Improved legion organization. Okay, I don't use auto organization. I don't use this at all, but they will automatically get into formation. I think this is a setting you can turn off, and I have it turned off, right? I think that's what they're talking about. I personally find it very, very, very difficult to use multiple unit types simultaneously compared to mono trooping. All infantry, all marksmen, all mages, all cavalry. Obviously, there's exceptions where like you might run an inf out to be a team player constantly. So 4x, one troop type plus an infantry, or multiple infantry if you wanted. I've done that for a very long time. And obviously, like I have plenty of experience using, marksmen, mages, and infantry simultaneously, but it's much more relaxing for many hours on end, and I can execute better if it's just 5x marksmen like all standing in one spot, right? Or I use 3x mages. I made a video about that. I'll mention it at the end if you want to go see. Now, the new SVIP system. Oh, boy. So the United Merchants Guild of Tagar has overhauled the honorary membership system, including a new SVIP membership tier. Players who upgrade to SVIP will unlock the SVIP store, and the store honor points can be exchanged for SVIP points, which can later be used to purchase marching effects, battle cards. I don't know what a battle card is. You know what a battle card is? Profile decorations. Oh, battle card might be like your profile screen or your rally screen is probably what that is. I'll show you what this is in Rise of Kingdoms because the same folks make both of these games. So I will show you what the SVIP system is over there. We'll talk about it in just a second. I want to cover these cosmetic upgrades first, but I can show you exactly kind of what this looks like and how this is going to work. Cosmetic system upgrade now available. New cosmetics are here. Okay. Used to equip various custom decorations to make your city unique. Okay, cool. Exchange house improvements. Oh, this is so good, by the way. This is so good. Look, like I'm constantly running out of space for pet skills, and it drives me literally insane. I am actually insane, in case you didn't know. Let's see, weekly purchase limit for 0-star skills exchange house has been increased to 100. Storage space for 0-star skill cards increased to 800. Weekly purchase limit for 1-star skills increased to 15. Storage space for 1-star skills increased to 120. I love that change. Very good. Also, don't regenerate your pets right now because they reduce the chances of receiving B-class attributes when you're generating an 8-slot pet. So just wait until this update, I think. There might be a downside to this that's unmentioned, but if it's all upside, then like waiting was just correct, right? Wow, there's so much to talk about. Oh my God. How is there still so much in here? Season system improvements. Timeless treasury skill improvements. So in the one season where you can use this, they're changing the timeless treasury. Let's see, from 4 hours to 24 hours. That's a great change. 4 hours was very minimal like time. You had to like really rush to get everything you wanted. So 24 hours is great for that shop to be open. Matchmaking improvements is awesome. Previously, if a realm fails to register 3 times in a row, it's automatically registered. Now, if a realm fails to register twice in a row, ooh, Battle Abyss improvements. When players in realms that are still in the pre-war phase take part in the Battle Abyss, 50% of Sev wounds will be automatically healed for free. I think that's because their elixir regeneration is just so low. Increase the number of migration places from 150 to 300. That sounds insane. Like, sometimes you make incremental improvements to things to see how it's going to work out. This is like the baby's out with the bathwater, I think. 300, like doubling, it feels insane to me, but I don't actually know. I have no clue on that one. It just feels like a big change. Okay, and then Alliance system improvements, Life Bloom store. So for those that didn't know, Life Bloom store, it's a new skill for your Alliance. You activate it. You can only do it 3 times per season. So it's pretty major. And at the store, you get all kinds of goodies. You could spend about, I think it was 300,000 merits or so. So like not a ton. Or maybe it's not merits, but you could recover about 300,000 or so troops worth of elixir. And the way it worked is it recovered elixir to your hospital immediately, and then you pick the troops you want to heal. There was some mana in there. But they're adding a certain number of life boon potions sold at 90% resource cost discount. Cool. While keeping the prices and amounts the same. All right, great. Great. Alliance building improvements. Alliance buildings and cities cannot be relocated within a range of a siege bastion. Yeah, this video is not the time or the place to talk about siege bastions, but like I would say this game has very much become Call of Bastions more than Call of Dragons. Like if you think about the amount of time you spend with dragons in the game, near zero. If you think about the amount of time you spend in bastions, literally from like season beginning to season end, from the moment the first pass is opened, I have had troops in bastions. I have been the captain of the bastion. So like, I think that bastions are too central to the nature of this game right now. Unless you really, really, really like territory chess, and for me, that's not my favorite thing. Certainly in this game, it's just the open field combat. So I would say that progression through a zone now is much more about territory chess than it is open field. And I think this change nudges things. It doesn't shove it necessarily, but it nudges things, depending on what this range is, in the direction of being more about open field, which I think is a very, very, very welcomed change. When your legions take AoE damage from garrisoned armies and enemy cities, passes, and alliance buildings, but are not besieging the buildings themselves, no Sev wounded units will die. This is a jaw-dropping level of change. An actual jaw-dropping level of change. This is an absolutely monster game changer. Wow. This is a jaw-dropping level of change. This will completely change rally garrison dynamics. And I think it's for the best. Because, like, if you know what you're doing and you garrison, you're always trading positive by so much that your enemy would not believe it unless they've garrisoned themselves. This genuinely changes everything. And I think it's a good thing. Garrisoning is too strong. You can't assault a bastion. You can only territory chest your way around it. So these are like really great changes. Reduce the time required to trigger battle acceleration. Now this, I don't know how I feel about. Garrisoning is going to be really, 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 really hard to do. Battle acceleration makes garrisoning hard because you need to, as a garrison captain, replace your troops when they get low. Otherwise, your captain pops. And battle acceleration is the vehicle by which that happens. So this is going to be a really interesting change. They will only apply to servers in Season 1 or Home Realms, or that open after the 10.38 update. Season servers not currently in Season 1 will not be affected. Oh, so maybe for the rest of this season, this doesn't affect us. GG. The rest of this season, this doesn't affect us, so play smart, everybody. Other improvements. Roots of War improvements. Improved display for Roots of War matchmaking page. Rankings will no longer be shown. Improved calculation for the matchmaking ratings. Added registrants power to the registration page. Okay. Store experience. The Goblin Market confirmation prompt. Okay, to avoid unnecessary losses. Improve the merits store. Confirmation prompt. Oh, thank God. Bro, Amber Store not having a confirmation prompt has terrified me. Absolutely terrified me. This is great. Weekly deals bundle toggle. Added a new toggle feature for the weekly deals bundle. Okay. Monthly pack notifications and rewards. Inappropriate messages reporting rules changed. Testing preview. In order to bring you better gameplay, we'll soon be testing improvements and changes to certain features. Testing will include improvements to the early game tutorial, staggered unlocking of heroes at the beginning of Season 1, linking hero level limits to city level. Interesting, I don't know why. Linking unlocking certain buildings to the season adventure progress, and new Questoscope system. Questoscope? I think if I were to put my tinfoil hat on, I think they're adding what other games have as like an exploration slash lighthouse slash radar questing mode. This is my guess, where basically you send your heroes on some quests every day and it requires action points. I think that's what it's going to be. Anyways, this is going to be really interesting. I don't think that's a bad thing. Merit change preview. The number of merits that infantry legions obtain in certain situations have been increased. Thank God, man. Look, I'll do my job as an infantry player, but like, with Mags A, I can pull down over 100,000 merits in a report. Never have I ever even gotten remotely close to 100,000 merits in a report with infantry, ever, in the open field, ever. Probably the highest I've ever done with infantry is in a garrison and the garrison's getting swarmed. And my march personally got like 66,000 merits, and that was recent. TFS, you're crazy. So anyways, let me show you SVIP real quick in Rise of Kingdoms. And after we've done that, we'll wrap the vid. What a world, man. Oh my God. So the way that SVIP worked in Rise of Kingdoms is that they, over time, released VIP going up to level 18. And they did it after people reached certain thresholds. Once enough people got to 15, they released 16. After enough people got to 16, they released 17. After enough people got to 17, they released 18. I do wonder, like, if there's going to be 16, 17, 18 SVIP, or if we're going to go straight to SVIP from 15. That, to me, would be the most reasonable thing, but I don't actually know. So here's SVIP, which in this game includes production bonuses in your city, a gathering speed boost. What is new? What is new here, actually? What was new in SVIP? Is there anything new? Actually, I don't know if there were any new bonuses. I can't remember. I'd have to get a closer look at these. Yeah, I'm just going to scroll through this. If someone wants to call it out in the comments, maybe I'll pin the comment. Maybe there's no bonus. You just get the Supreme Wheel in the SVIP shop, maybe. Anyways, the way this works is once you get to SVIP, and it costs a lot of VIP to get there, you get this wheel. You use your VIP to spin the wheel. I can just open this up. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta open up a bunch of stuff there. Okay. You spin the wheel, you get this currency, okay? Then you use this currency to go buy cosmetics. And those cosmetics have a limited time effect. Me personally, I really like collection in games. So sort of renting the effect for 30 days, which is how this works, is not my preference. My preference would be like some sort of like collection to it. But the way the cosmetics operate in this game is they change a few things around. So they change what your rally screen looks like. They change what your marching looks like. So as an example here, if I look at this rally screen, nothing here looks crazy. But if I were to set a rally on something, okay, and we go to the rally screen, you see it's got this like fancy art. I don't know if that's one of the cosmetics that they'll add, but I would assume at some point it will be. In addition, I've got like art options for the little profile screen over here. So normally it looks much more plain. Okay. And then the marching cosmetic, I can show you as well. So they've had a couple of these. Right now, like lightning is the latest. So this is a lightning cosmetic. And yeah, that's what that looks like. So they had a flower cosmetic as well. So little like flowers would bloom under your feet. I suppose I probably can show you that from a cosmetic screen over here. Let's see here. Oh, another cosmetic here is these birds flying around my city. Right, so they got stuff they can do. All right. This is a teleport cosmetic as well. Teleport cosmetic's very cool, I think. A nice little bit of flair there. All right. And here's the marching cosmetic. Here's the flowers I was telling you about. Right? There's the flowers. All right, you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, subscribe. We'll see how this SVIP stuff works out. Also worth mentioning, there was a bundle at SVIP here. We'll probably have one in Call of Dragons. I don't know what it's going to have in it. There is an upgrade to the daily chest as well in Rise of Kingdoms. We'll probably see that in Call of Dragons, all right? Check out these vids in the end screen. I think you'll enjoy them. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.